Wow.
Is that weird looking at yourself in the thing?
What are you talking about? All I do is stare at myself all day, every day. Well, hello, friends, and welcome to yet another episode of Bad Beard's Basement Podcast Show, the ever-evolving medium that I use to talk to friendly folks, a lot of strangers, and today, a bestie.
A bestie.
A bestie on the couch, yeah. Welcome, Kelly Yazdi. We've known each other now for...
A long-ass time.
A long-ass time.
Thanks for having me, brother. I've missed you.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, tell me this. Where am I supposed to look? Do I just look at you?
Yeah, I think looking at me, this is your camera right here. So
okay,
if you ever need to deliver a message, right there. And then our wide guy is in between those two monitors.
Sweet.
And then my guy's over here.
Cool.
It's always kind of changing depending on where I've unpacked and repacked. And how's my shirt? Did I get it super dirty setting everything up?
No, you look great.
Okay.
You really need an assistant or an assistant assistant.
I need lots of things. Ideally, it would be like two sets of things, so one can stay static and then the rest can go on the road when I go to shows, or maybe when I go to Sturgis, which is not where we met, but we spent a lot of time. What's I could give the background, but why don't you give us a little dime store recap of how do we know each other, Kelly?
How do we? Honestly, it's been such a long time. I don't even know if I remember exactly how we
I remember.
met. Will you tell me how we met? Also, I have really bad brain fog over the last couple of years. So
yeah, a bit of a whirlwind you've been on.
It's I would say say a little bit. Call it turbulent. Might be the most appropriate way to explain that.
Because you've been getting those sky miles.
Definitely getting those sky miles. Shout out to Delta.
Shout out to Delta. Where you at? Travel blue.
Seriously though, when did we meet? I can't even remember.
So if I recall, and I don't know that I could put like a date or X amount of years. I mean, we could check just by interneting.
Yeah,
but I recall going down to wherever Ducati had their dealer bikes or those press bikes.
Yeah.
And I was going to pick up Diavel because I was doing some shoot or I had some idea, and I cruised down there. And as I was getting mine, you had just picked up one of yours.
Yeah. I don't know if I picked up a I don't even know what I picked up at that time.
I'm sure
a scrambler, or maybe it was
but then in passing, just after talking to the fine folks over there and Ducati's, what is that called? Dealer or press bikes?
Yeah, they're press
bikes. Whoever runs
bikes.
their fleet.
Yeah.
After hearing just our conversations, we were kind of both like,
you're like, I know you.
I was like, hey, what do you do? And so then we went off and we grabbed like a coffee or something like that. And then the rest is history.
Yeah, that's actually true. Wow, I love that you remember that. It's bringing back some good memories. I remember seeing you, meeting you. I think Chris Nelson had somehow connected us at that time. That also
sounds accurate, yeah.
Yeah, who's another buddy of ours who works in the motorcycle world or used to work in the motorcycle world. But yeah, I remember that day. Wow, we've gone on such a journey, Sam. We've literally traveled the world together, gone to how many bike shows, how many different things together, worked together. I mean, we've lived some life.
We've lived some life. Yeah, a lot of road miles. Highway only, I swear. Yeah.
I know, I was actually laughing because a lot of these helmet Sam's got up. I think I remember giving him a few of these back in the day. Some of them are a little bit more scratched up than others, but that's when you know you've lived.
Yeah. Yeah, given our background and a lot of time spent on two wheels, you guys can't see, but in order to keep everything kind of manicured and finely crafted here, I got them all lined on the wall. Some people do, baseboard and all that. I do helmets and it looks nice, but it's little brain memory capsules up there.
I love it. Do you want to come to Hawaii and do that at my house?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would appreciate.
I
can use the help.
Rather than collect dust, and I can at least look at it. Because they're like, I tell people when they're like, why do you have 30 helmets? Like, how many can you wear at a time? Which is one. Mm-hmm. But then I say, all right, well, think about girls with purses.
It's true.
You got to match your bike. You got to match your outfit. And so you need a bevy of brain buckets.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And then also each of them it's a different style, a different vibe. Sometimes you want to sparkle. Sometimes you want to be sporty.
I'm not wearing that on a crotch rocket, right?
Yeah, no more brain buckets.
No,
you know how I feel about
that
those.
little half shell from Pakistan. That's not doing much. But then also you get like a full face. You get any adventure bikes, and they got options.
All the things. Are those even DOT approved, the brain buckets?
Yeah, what does DOT even mean, though?
Yeah.
You know? In Pakistan, it's probably approved.
Yeah. Well, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It's international.
Well, so we know each other from everywhere, but where are you currently living? Where's home?
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah, I've been in Hawaii for
Which island?
many moons. Big island of Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived on Oahu for a few years. And then I moved over to Big Island. But prior to that, you and I met back when I was living in California.
Yeah, Long Beach.
Yeah. Wow. That was a long time ago. Long Beach area for sure. Because I went to school in Santa Barbara, kept making my way down south, essentially. Met you. Spent a few years in California, got tired of that. Moved up to Alaska for a little bit. Got real cold.
I forgot you moved to Alaska.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got so tired of California. And I remember I was actually leaving one of the first Moto Beach Classic events when I was, I just remember like not being happy or fulfilled when I was living there. And so I remember looking at my dogs at the time. I had my Australian Shepherd Kai and my dog Moose. And I looked at them and I was like, you guys deserve to be in the wild, man. Like why are we even here in California anymore? And I had a buddy who actually hit me up and was like, why don't you come visit AK? And I was like, who in the fucking world wants to go to Arkansas? Come on.
No kidding.
And he was like, Kelly, that's Alaska. And I was like, oh, that sounds better. Okay. So I ended up going visiting. And then I ended up moving there 2 weeks later. Lived there.
It was with a lot of the things you do.
Yeah.
It's a very expedited process.
It's true.
There's not a lot of back and forth. It's just like, and just with social media, which is a lot of how we've interacted over the years because of the content we're creating and the worlds that we play in of marketing, advertising. It's like I'd be following like a story or a post or something, and she's in Long Beach or she's in Hawaii or the Palisades or wherever.
Yeah.
Boom, she's in Alaska. Mm-hmm. And it's like and not that you're just like, there for a trip to explore. It's like, oh, this is my new house.
Yeah, basically.
This is the property that I'm building on right now. And, we're about 2 hours from here and then like the plane ride in. So
I know. I can honestly say I don't know if I've been great at many things in my life, but I think the one thing I am really good at is following my heart. And when my heart or my compass sets on something, it's like, that's it. I know it. And I don't know if it's like an intuitive thing or if it's just something about me. Like as soon as I saw Alaska, I was like, this is it. I have to go there. And so I got rid of everything. I think I remember like calling you and be like, hey, do you mind helping me like move couches or some shit like that? Like I literally got rid of everything, packed the dogs in the truck and drove up to Alaska. And I lived there for about a year. And it wasn't just like lower Alaska. It was like North Pole Fairbanks, Alaska.
Well, and to my followers, if you're not familiar with my friend Kelly here, she's a well-traveled woman that spends as much time indoors as she does outdoors, and that's fishing and hunting and diving and spearfishing and like give me like a few of the accolades. Like what's the biggest buck you brought down? Like you're a woman of the land.
I guess so. Wow, thanks. It's so I love you, Sam. I've really missed you. I do. I guess to introduce myself.
Yeah, we should have started with that, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. I mean, that's what it's like when you have your good friends, though, right? It's like you just dive on into the deep end.
Well, and then the first hour we were hanging out, I was like, "Stop talking to me. We got to save something for the show."
Yeah, he's like, "Can you just shut the fuck up? Because let's just wait till we talk to each other." Yeah, I mean, what have I done? What hats have I worn? I've done a ton of different things, from being a personal trainer to being a stunt woman to being an actress to being a professional model. I've been an athlete for a very long time, especially in the world of power sports. So as you know, like motorcycles, off-roading, snowmobiling, things like that. Got into motorcycling, which really like opened my world up, and I didn't really realize you can make a career out of it. And so that's really what got me into stunt work. That's what got me into producing events. That's what got me into the company I started, which was Wild Gypsy Tour at the time. And then that evolved into Ride Wild, and I'm sure we'll get into all that later. But it's really just transpired into my passion, which is I love playing outside and I love sharing that with people. And I'm super passionate about health and wellness and travel and togetherness and just you know, I mean, you know me, I'm a super positive person. I love to love, I love to play, and I just love being outdoors. And I've always been passionate about things that take you fast, right? Whether that be snowmobiles or motorcycles or stuff like that. But I think my most incredible friendships have come from those spaces. And those things have actually led me to some of these other passions I have, right? Which is bow hunting and spearfishing and these things like I always thought were so cool growing up, but I didn't know how to get into them. And then it wasn't until I was an adult, which like, am I an adult? I don't know are we adulting?
No, I did.
It's like, have you ever heard of that meme where it's like,
We're just really mature children.
Yeah, you're like, I need an adultier adult. But yeah, anyway, so like I've finally got into these things now as an adult, and it's like, it only gets better, is what I'm going to say.
Well, and if you end up traveling with Kelly, you're not going to go for like a leisurely, relaxing trip, regardless of where you end up. It doesn't matter how many, lounge chairs there are. You're not sitting in them. Get ready to go to work, whatever it is. It's going to be an adventure. And so you were in Alaska.
Yeah.
And then from Alaska, fast forward.
Yeah, from Alaska. It's so funny. When I left, like I was working all the time in LA, wasn't happy, right? Wasn't fulfilled being in California. It was so funny. As soon as I moved to Alaska, I had actually gotten a call from, that was like when work really started to pick up for me.
And so this is WGT, or this is now Ride Wild? Or
this was around WGT time, so all Gypsy Tour time in Sturgis, but it was also really diving more into the motorcycle industry. And our buddy Mark Altieri, he was, I remember when he gave me a call, I had like just moved to Alaska, and he was like, hey, Maxim wants to do a feature on you. I was like, really? That's kind of cool. And thanks to Mark and all that, I mean, that kind of like opened up a lot of doors for me. I never thought, I mean, as a model, right, you think, oh, I'm going to get into like Maxim, right? But I went in the completely opposite way, which was like, let's talk about women in motorcycling. And I was like, we should talk about women in motorcycling. Because, so that was.
So not just on your looks, but on your merits.
Definitely on the merits. Yeah. So it was a cool opportunity, but living in Alaska was so rad. It was such a cool experience. I
like it in theory.
Yeah.
But, I don't know what the circumstances would have to be that would be a reality for me. But I love that you did it.
I love that I did it too. It was really cold. I would not advise moving to like.
I mean, granted, I'm spending a lot of time in Georgia these days, and we've had a lot of snow recently, which I could do without. I like to go visit snow. I like to visit cold places. I like to be dressed appropriately. Hot toddies down in the lodge. I'll see you there. But it's not my thing. I'm from Florida. I'm a beach guy.
Yeah.
Give me the waves, give me the sand and the sun. Happy dude.
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, I grew up in Minnesota, so I mean,
That's Canada.
I know. It was so cold.
And you got mosquitoes.
Yeah, it was bad. But Minnesota's, I mean, every place has got its glory, right? But I mean, you grew up in Florida, right? But even for me being in Hawaii, I remember growing up and going to California and Hawaii. And I just remember when I was little, I was like, Hawaii is the greatest place on the planet. I have to move here one day. And so I ended up moving there after Alaska. Spent a year up there.
Honestly, it's just kind of a little calamity in my brain. You were Long Beach to Alaska, Alaska to Hawaii. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, I kept going far out from the continental U.S. But then, I mean, as life has continued, I mean, I'm still based in Hawaii, but I had my little stint in Georgia, if you will. And I've definitely traveled all over the world, which I feel super grateful for. But you and I have traveled a lot together.
We've traveled a lot. Well, so jumping around as we will, in this kind of timeline, from Long Beach to Alaska over to Hawaii, as it's been with Kelly, it's a lot of just like, where in the world is Kelly Yazdi? And so when I got a call, I was here at this point, and probably why I was confused about the timeline of where you are is because equally I was doing a fair amount of moving myself.
100%.
I was in Los Angeles for almost 12 years out there, and then opportunity presented here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
COVID provided its own excitement. If you guys recall COVID, it was this thing that we all hung out by ourselves for a while. Where I then quarantined in Florida. So then I was in Florida with my family, which I was super grateful for that. for a while, and then back in Atlanta, and then back. So anyway, imagine my surprise when I'm here in Georgia. I was living in the city at the time.
Good old Georgia.
Good old Georgia.
Yeah.
And so I was in Atlanta proper, or maybe even in between Noonan or here, which Noonan's just, they'll say it's close. It's not. It's like an hour outside the city. Either way, I got a call from Kelly. And she says, "Hey, Sam." And I was like, "What's up?" We talk.
Yeah,
it's the kind of relationship where it's like I don't hear from her, I don't see her for months at a time. But then when we see each other, it's just like nothing's changed. Right back in the mix.
Yeah.
Which is great. And so she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, hang out in Georgia. I just whatever."
I remember this.
"Hey, I saw. Did you go to the
Renaissance
Fair?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "I went to the Renaissance Fair." I'm like, "Cool." Like,
cool, Kelly.
Good story. And she goes, "Yeah, no, like in Fayetteville." And I was like, "All right, what?" And so in my head thinking like, "Aren't you in Hawaii?" Just putting it back together. She goes, "Yeah, I've been dating this guy. And I'm engaged." And I was like,
plot twist.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, congratulations." And just like all the other things with Kelly, it didn't catch me by surprise. It was just, par for the course in your experience.
So true.
And so then catching up in my brain, I was like, "All right, well," and you're like, "Yeah, I'm dating this guy here in Fayetteville." And I'm like, who the fuck are you dating in Fayetteville? And how did you?
Like, why?
Yeah, like I love Georgia. We love Atlanta. Fayetteville is beautiful. There's all sorts of great stuff for here. If you're from here, it's awesome. If you've chosen to be here, good for you.
Yeah, you gotta love Georgia. It's got its things.
Everywhere, beautiful.
In seasons.
So then she's like, "Yeah, I'm dating this guy, Zach." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
okay." And I was like, now my wheels are turning. I'm like, Fayetteville, Kelly. Oh, she lives here. Oh, she's engaged. Some guy, Zach. And in my brain, I know there's like where we're at. You got Young Jock. You got who's the guy that's got the huge house over here? Another big rapper.
Oh yeah.
CeeLo Green, I think, lives here.
Ludacris.
And I'm like, Zach. And I'm like, oh man, she just married Zach Brown. Mm-hmm. And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh shit. Like the chicken guy. I love that, And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
hang up, and I'm back to Fairburn Renaissance Fair, having a great time or whatever I was doing. And
was your brain just going like, what? Like, what? Like,
well, I'm having to
trying to fit
share
together?
this to my partner Meg, who at this point you've met her a couple times through travel or something, but she doesn't know you like I know you, and so like to download this in such a way where I'm just like very like pragmatic, just very like dry about it. She's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I get it. It doesn't sound like because it's just so normal."
Yeah, I know.
Fast forward, you actually are here. You're living here. Still engaged at the time, not married yet.
Yeah.
Now we're hanging out in Fayetteville, and then
It's true.
life got lifey for a while.
Life got real lifey for
Yeah.
a while. Also, I realized I didn't even ask if you want a shot of my little energy drink.
I'm all right, thank you though.
Okay.
Matches my container though.
It's it does actually match
Yeah.
your container. I'm obsessed with this stuff. So,
What is it?
protect energy. Normal people probably drink it with water.
I think I got a little bit of meth or something.
It's not meth. It's like clean organic caffeine. I got turned on to it a few years ago, but it's a fantastic small company that's growing in the athletic scene, outdoor scene. But I love their products. Their energy products in particular. Like I just don't do well with coffee.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like I try and drink like half a cup of coffee and I don't feel very good. So
Yeah.
like I lean into Protect or like matcha, but like I said, clean organic caffeine, which does well for me. It's got B vitamins, stuff like
Okay.
that. Anyway, I'll send
We'll
you
loop
some.
back to that because there's a section in the show where we get to talk about all things sponsors and brands and why we're gonna
Oh yeah.
get paid.
And we should actually we should talk about the people who like honestly really cool companies.
Yeah.
So there's so many good ones there, but we'll dive back to that.
Yeah. Meg equally, she get like a half a cup of coffee and she's like, I feel so dehydrated.
Yeah.
So she prefers matcha.
Me too. Oh, love matcha. Also, like, I feel like, I love coffee, but then, like my body doesn't love coffee. And a couple days later, I get these stomach aches the day after and whatnot. But
I can't. I'm a trash compactor of a human. Like anything that goes
I know
in,
you are. You can eat anything.
good to
I
go.
swear.
Maybe I take down a gallon in the morning of the cold brew, but
Honestly, you're like a specimen. I want to do an interview on you, so maybe we can switch the roles one day. Because honestly, I have so many questions about you.
We'll just hit
after
stop
knowing
and just
you.
trade seats.
You're like a superhuman being.
Yeah, well, that's part of the program.
I know.
Superheroes.
Yeah, I'm into that. We've been Justice League. So into it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so
but
we're in Fayetteville.
so we're in Fayetteville. Life got lifey. That's such a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I feel like the best way I can explain that whole experience is, like in the movie The Matrix, Keanu Reeves, love. How he gets like plugged into a world and he lives it's like a whole world that's very real and lives this life and it's crazy and this and that. Like that's kind of how it feels. I just plugged into this life for a few years living in Georgia, but all over the world. And you came on so many trips with us and had so much life experience. And then all of a sudden, pulled out of that experience, literally like the Matrix. Except I didn't learn Kung Fu, right? Like I didn't come out of it with Kung Fu, which would have been really rad. But anyway, I have a martial arts background, so maybe that's why I didn't get the Kung Fu skill. But over those couple years, I got really into bow hunting. I got into spearfishing, some really cool stuff. And then all of a sudden, I'm back in Hawaii when I got unplugged.
Yeah.
I've been in Hawaii ever since.
Blue pill, red pill.
Yeah.
Well, and in that timeline, you mentioned trips. Like I had the fortune, because of our friend COVID, to shout out to Rick Hendricks. We think your boat is tight. Call it a yacht if you want. But that
what
was
a
wild.
fun experience! Yeah, we went to the Bahamas
Unreal.
together. Yeah, that was incredible. I totally forgot about that. When we went to Bali years before, that was
Bali
before
was
then?
a couple years before that with our friends Rhett and Brady and Anto and a whole squad.
Our Wyoming squad.
Yeah.
And the boys.
Chips and Dusty and Pat.
Yeah.
We did that, and then more travel here, there, everywhere, and then
there was a lot that happened.
So much has happened over the years. It's like some people call it a whirlwind. I call it a car accident, but it's been crazy all the same. And so from our Bahamas trip, the Caribbean or wherever we went, then fast forward another 6 months or something like that.
I don't know. I honestly, it's like the Matrix for me, and my perception of time is so foggy. I'm like, was that? And I know it was within those 3 years,
dates and
right?
numbers are hard for me, but from my vantage point, because I had been introduced to a number of characters along the way, that it went from our trip there, because I had just come back from Sturgis. I think that's what I had done. I had come back from Sturgis, where I had driven, because I was there shooting for BMW or something at the time, and Meg was with me, and we had just gotten back, and that's when you called to say, like, hey,
I was like, come.
Zach's kids got COVID, so, like, they can't go on this trip, but, we have the space available if you guys want to come. I was like, hell yeah, I want to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
So straight back on the way. And then another 6 months or whatever it was, or some projected date of like, hey, so I think we want to get, official, make it official. We're going to get hitched in Hawaii. Do you think you'd want to come shoot that? And so other than a couple like Christmas cookie parties, and a little of that. Oh, and then I broke my knee. And so I went and I was out at the river for a while.
Dude, you've broken so many bones.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk for a while, so that was probably a big blip in my brain radar. That was a thing. Then right as I was walking, though, that's when you were getting hitched, and I came to shoot it.
Yeah, I got married.
Yeah, and so where was your wedding at?
My wedding was in Hawaii.
All the names in that, like, there's Oahu, there's Kauai.
Oh, it's actually called Hawaii.
Maui.
So people call, there's the state of Hawaii, right, which is all of the islands.
Yeah.
And then there's the island of Hawaii, or Hawaii is actually how you pronounce it. But so people call it Big Island, but it's actually called Hawaii.
So Big Island is Hawaii.
Yes. Same
and then
thing.
Hawaii overall is the collective states.
So
or the
I guess
islands.
in California speak, right? Like LA, right? There's LA County and then there's LA City, right? But within LA City, there's different.
I mean, trust me, I'll try to get out there a lot more often to make it a little more solidified in my head. But
know.
whenever I try to think about it, it's like, I'm like, I know I've been to Kauai, and then like, I know your place is on Maui, Oahu, and whatever. And then I'm like, I don't know, Hawaii, she's out there.
Hawaii,
Yeah.
And I'm sure this will probably be part of the podcast where we don't get too into details just because of things.
Fair.
Yeah, things signed.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's keep going.
So we're out in Hawaii. It is beautiful. I'm meeting even more characters. I think maybe he's my new best friend, Brock Lesnar. Wild adventures with that dude. But it was, again, the whirlwind experience. I'm getting to meet family for the first time. I'm getting to meet, I've already met your sister at this point, but so many different people that were so exciting to interact with from your past. Because like nothing like a wedding to bring together a whole gaggle of strangers.
Yeah.
And then they just force them all together.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And it's kind of crazy because obviously, as you and the world knows, I mean, my marriage was very unexpectedly very short, right? And that's why I still use the analogy of the Matrix, because I'm like, did that happen? It feels like a weird dream to me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I know you were there. Like, I know it happened, right? But then I'm like, but did it? I don't know. Anyway, what a crazy experience. But I'm so glad you got to come. Did you know that my brother almost got eaten by a shark that time?
After hanging out with your brother? Yeah, I believe it. Did I know that? No.
Dude, it was the wildest thing. Like, out of all the times you go to Hawaii, and what people don't realize, right, is like, sharks are there, and they're like a good thing for the environment. Some places have a little bit too many sharks. You're from Florida, but it was so wild when we were there. We brought out my brother on the boat, my little brother, who's my big little brother, right? He's like 6'2", and we're out in like the deep sea of the ocean. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to jump in. It's a hot day. And Sean straight up like jumps in the water, no snorkel, no mask, nothing. Like, and it's all chill, right? Like all of us have been in and out of the water. And I kid you not, out of like the right corner of my eye, I look out maybe about 15 meters and I see a fin. And as soon as I saw it, I looked over and the deckhand who was there, I looked at her and I saw my little brother, and like before the words could get out of my mouth, right, I'm watching this, I think it was a black tip. Mm-hmm. A black tip rolls up like right
known
to her.
for their friendliness.
I was like, shark! But I looked at my brother and I go, don't panic, Sean, don't panic. There's a shark, right? And of course, this motherfucker, I swear, he walked on water. I mean, and rightfully, right? Like, I probably shouldn't have yelled. I probably should have calmly done something.
Well, for those watching at home, instinctually, yes, you're gonna freak out and spaz. But the reality is, you don't want to act like prey.
No, you really
face
don't.
Your fear, and you just go boop that shark.
Yeah, and honestly, she was very fortunate because the deckhand who was in the water, she is like a shark whisperer, and I've known her for many years, and she was able to like finesse and move the shark away, right? Yeah, sure.
As you do in Hawaii.
As you do, right? She's like the shark speaker. But in general, yeah, I mean, sharks are all over the place. You see them all the time when you're diving or, when you're just out and about. But I'll tell you what, that Sean straight up freaked out, did exactly what you're not supposed to do. Yeah. He books it back to the boat, and he was like, well, let's not tell mom that just happened. So yeah, my brother almost got eaten by a shark, which was a whole experience, but he survived, as you know. Yeah. He's good. He's probably not going to come. Well, he came back to Hawaii after them, but he didn't want to go in the ocean.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, and I had a great time with him, and it's interesting, like when you can, meet folks, have a great time. But then when am I going to see your brother again?
Oh, I hope soon.
And it's like, where,
I know.
The world is large and small at the same time, but I'm always curious as to when, paths would cross again, but
yeah,
I don't doubt it.
Well, I want to have a really big party.
I like parties.
Yeah, I like parties too. We can have a really fun party. So either we can have one in Hawaii, or either we can do it. We can also do it at a local meetup spot like Sturgis, something like that.
Well, and then so would that be if I went to the wedding and then the reception wedding after the fact? Would then there be
wedding party?
The divorce party? Like, I'm sure somebody's got a cool title for what that is of like
teasing.
in the post experience.
I like to call it the rebirth.
The rebirth.
The rebirth party.
The rebirth.
Yeah. So many thoughts on that, Sam. But I mean, you and I, it's crazy, right? Because even being in my early 30s, I never thought I'd be divorced. I don't think anyone thinks they're going to be divorced, right? When you get married, and I know you and I have both experienced that.
Yeah.
And it's a heavy thing, but it's also such a real thing that so many people go through, and it's not easy, right? But I tend to try to not like say divorce necessarily.
Okay.
I usually am like, you know what? One chapter ended. It's a rebirth, right? But I guess that's kind of life, right? It's like, how do you look at it? And you know me, I'm always like glass half full kind of person.
Well, and I agree with the idea of a book, right? And the experience I had with my past partner, what it taught me when it played out the way it did, what I learned, and then all the heaviness that comes with it. But equally, until, like you say, you turn that page, it's just a part of a story that's just so much bigger. And so to reflect on it as such doesn't give it any more weight or less weight than what it is. But absolutely. On to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next chapter.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, divorce, just like other things in your life, right? Whether they're intense or heavy or traumatic, I mean, however you want to characterize it, I think, or even breakups, right? I mean, that's really what a divorce is. It's just a really gnarly breakup, right? And I mean, there's some people who've been married for a super long time and experienced that. Some people have been married a short time who've experienced that. But I think ultimately, right, it's like, just like with everything in life, and you and I can dive into this, right? Which is, what are you going to do with what's happened, right? How are you going to allow it to build you, right? I mean, it can break you, or it can rebuild you, or maybe break to rebuild you, right? And it's all about how you use it. But I think you and I could both agree that, like, it's probably one of those intense experiences in our life that has led us to being a more authentic and passionate person in our life. I mean, I can definitely say, like, I feel like I am, I don't know, I'm better for having gone through what I went through.
Well, and not to speak for you, but at least in my experience, so much of what I experienced and high lows and all the things, I'm still so grateful because I was able to live a life with a partner and really enjoy so many things along the way. So that's how I look at it. Like, I know obviously
Same. You're
you're in the midst of it, and so things are very real right now. But at least my offering to you is that everything in time, because everybody's got a perspective and opinion, and so it's a different story every different direction. But I can at least acknowledge from my part and my experience what I walked away from, that I look back on now is with gratitude.
Well said.
And so it took a while to get there. Obviously, I didn't navigate a lot of bullshit, but most of it being my own. But looking back with gratitude allows you to kind of move forward with the right outlook required to get anywhere with that same level of optimism that we talk about.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, trying to walk in that space of gratitude, it can be really challenging sometimes, but I think ultimately it's a choice, right? And obviously I'm still in the mix of things, and but I will say, I think the fact that mine was so public is also something that has helped me in a way. I mean, I think it's very detrimental to have your life exposed like that.
We talked about briefly at the beginning, just like, trying to not dive too deep into social media and into other people's lives and just, using it as a tool and such like that. Like, I've witnessed enough and learned enough along the way for what you've been going through that I'm just like, my divorce was painful and all the things, terrible about separation that it is, but it wasn't done on the scale and under the microscope that you've had to navigate. And so that, that sucks.
It sucks. It's weird. I would not wish it on anyone.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's.
Well, because you end up having, is it you can't just back into the bushes and just let it all blow over, or like, or you have to be proactive? Like, what has that experience been?
I wish I could answer that question, but I think given the situation I'm in, there's just certain things I can't talk about quite yet. But I think you and I should definitely schedule part 2 of this and catch up on more things later. But to But I mean, just from our experience, I mean, you and I have both worked in the world of acting and publicity and marketing and all those things, right? And social media and influencing and whatnot. I think in general, right, it's better to be proactive about stuff, but a lot of things like you really can't control. And there's so many things that have happened. Hashtag life, right? You can't control a lot of things in life. And I know, seriously, I mean, even this last year, as much as you try and control some of these things in your life, ultimately it's like, have you ever heard that saying? It's like, you have a plan, but then God has a plan. And even if you don't believe in God or whatever you believe in, universe, spirit, the divine, whatever. I mean, I think we all kind of have this idea of how we want our life to go.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we're just kind of like calibrating the compass, and then how that happens or, what happens in your life is not necessarily things you can control.
Right.
And that was one of the biggest lessons I learned this year, which really humbled me, which was, what am I really in control of and what am I not? And how do I maintain my balance and my peace and keep to my values and what I believe in amidst this chaos and publicity and those kinds of things. I think it's just like anything else, right? It's like, it's not like social media is bad. It's what you use it for, right? It's not like money is bad. It's just, what is it being used for? It's the same thing like with publicity, right? It's not bad in itself. It's just, you know what I mean? It's, there's sort of like a dichotomy to each one of those subjects, but we can save that rabbit hole for another time.
That'll be part 2. Yeah. Specific to that all experience, for me, in the control pieces in life and the plan that God had versus the one that I desire.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was thinking about recently was, I used to say, like, when life it gets lifey, this is happening, that's happening.
Love that saying.
Ups or downs. I would say, like, I can't control getting this role. I can't control getting that job. I can't control this, that, or the other. I can only control, 1, my reaction to whatever that is. And then 2, I can choose to, my body. I can stay fit. I can stay, that. And that's what I said until I broke my knee. And then I was just like, I couldn't walk. And then everything just got cranked up to 11. And so even just another lesson to learn of, like, you're not in control. And as much as I try to navigate and learn, and operate with grace, it's just so freaking seemingly a little too frequent.
Humbling.
Yeah. That,
I know, gosh, and you've really been through the ringer. I feel like that's what injuries do, right? They just, they really teach you how special having good health is and how much you need to be grateful for it, right? I mean, you and I have had many friends who've experienced anything from cancer to passing away. I mean, there's just like real life stuff, right? But then injuries too. I mean, they really bring you to your knees for like.
Thanks, Kelly.
Sorry, love you. But they really, I think they humble you, and just like all these life experiences that we've been talking about really do. But they also, right, make you realize how important it is to have fun. Right, and enjoy life, because as much as it can paint your world gray, and you can wake up, with that kind of attitude, right, of, oh, these things keep happening to me, right, or bad things happen, you can also look at the bright side of stuff. I feel like that's kind of a reoccurring theme happening in this podcast right now.
Just looking at the bright side of things.
I know. Sorry about your knee. That was pretty bad.
It was what it was, but it was, and there was a period where I had such a tale to tell about this that led into that led into this, that led into that. And when you look at things on that micro level, it was dog shit. It sucked for so many reasons. And as much pain as I had to navigate and inconvenience of being, handicapped to a degree.
Yeah.
Nothing, it all paled in comparison to the financial burden that came along with it. I didn't, and so the story that I was telling myself and others as they would inquire sucked. And it wasn't able until I could, one, get a little more mobility.
Yeah.
But start looking a little more macro and just step back and realize, like we were saying, like the opportunities along the way that we can look back and smile, that it's not all dog shit. And that it is overall a positive experience to be made. Joy is a choice. Happiness is a side effect. But that's something that I'm still having to remind myself, and I try to seek other individuals that can share the same experience with me to remind me that don't get stuck in the micro. You got to go a little more macro and realize the bigger picture is going to be bright. It's just a matter of navigating, with the grace that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like a freaking bumper car.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that saying, being like the Michelangelo and the David, or the David and the Michelangelo, right, of your life. And I think life can honestly be dog shit sometimes, right? Let's just keep it very real.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be here and be this like happy-go-lucky person. I mean, if anything, I think my life is very much publicly played out to show that life can really be tough. And even the last few years have been really tough, especially this last year, right? There's no sugarcoating that, but I've definitely been through some worse things in my life, or pretty bad things in my life. But I think ultimately, right, it's like, what are you going to do with it? Right? And maybe that's just how I've grown to be. Maybe that's how I was raised, like nature versus nurture. But I'm always like, what am I going to do with this? Right? There's that Latin saying, mens sana in corpore sano. Oh, no, wait. Mens sana in corpore sano is a sound mind and a sound body.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, which I holistically believe in, of course. But I think it's also... how do I say this? I'm trying to think. It's like, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier, essentially. It'll come back to me at the right moment, but it's like, are you going to let things break you? Are you going to use them to build you? Right? It's kind of like the ethos.
When it's, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And so then it's your choice to then take it as a lesson rather than,
right? Just
a
one
stick
word.
whacking you in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
And some of those lessons I keep learning, and it's taking many
Word, Sam. That's what I'm telling you. We're going to have a part 2 of this podcast because there's so much going on right now. I know for both of us. I think for the world. Like, I don't know about you, but I honestly think stepping into...
It does not feel unique. My experience does not feel like I'm the only one navigating this.
No.
There is an unending... I don't know anyone that in the last 5 years has gone like, nah, this is better than I thought it was going to go. And so, I mean, everybody in their own lifetime thinks that their lifetime is the most significant throughout history, but at the same time, a lot has happened. And granted, we haven't, navigated any number of atrocities that we have in our history, but it does seem unique, at least to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like we can all agree, like, we're all on the same roller coaster together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one has been untouched or unscathed by some of the things that are happening, but again, still a roller coaster, right? How are we going to enjoy it?
Moving on from the ride that you've currently been on, and then things that you've learned along the way. What's going on? What does Kelly's future look like? What does the next chapter have in store?
This is where I should actually get you one of those magic 8 balls here at this podcast. Meth. Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess that works.
Yeah. Magic Man, different 8-ball guys. Come on.
Different. That would actually be pretty fun for this podcast. I'm going to get you one of those. You could be like, let me tell you what, if it's in your future. Yeah, exactly. What's going on for me? Still in my spearfishing, bow hunting, wanting to go on more adventures, all that jazz. And motorcycling, of course. I feel like I took a hiatus from the power sports industry for the last couple years for a couple of reasons, but also because I was very heavily involved in the music industry. And so stepping back into my passions, right, which power sports, motorcycles, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, so definitely planning on going to Sturgis this year. It's like the big family reunion. I mean, Yeah. I don't know how. I feel like
my birthday's in August, and so prior to this last year, I've spent the last 6 years, if not more, having my birthday every year at Sturgis. So that's always been a thing. We got all the random tattoos to recount the tales.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Sweet, or poor Sam. I'm going to say sweet Sam. I have called Sam on more than one occasion to be like, Sam, can you really help me out with this? I got this event going on. It's called Wild Gypsy Tour. I'm at the Sturgis Buffalo Chip. Could you come out and shoot it for me? And sweet, big-hearted Sam has always been like my brother in need who's come to help me out with things. And so we've got to spend a bunch of Sturgises together, which has been epic. And honestly, I feel like they're just getting more fun because now when I go it's, I mean, especially, I've almost been going for closer to 10 years.
Wow.
Now, yeah, because I started WGT back in 2017, so, which is now Ride Wild, but.
When I think I was like at the very first one.
Yeah, you were.
And so maybe I've miscounted how many years I've been at Sturgis.
Yeah,
so
I think you have.
Coming up on
because it's already 2025. That was 2017. So what, 8 years?
All right.
Yeah, and I don't know if you went before then, but yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, I love that part of it though, because I feel like we've got to see how it's evolved, and each time we go, it's because of what we do within the industry.
Well, and that's always
different.
how I describe, like, you know, if people know me through motorcycles, then they have questions about motorcycles or things like that. Like, you know, that different hats we wear, people have a lot of different experiences with us, and they usually don't know about the other parts, and they're like, oh shit, you do that too? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But specific to the motorcycle scene, when I tell people about Sturgis, our experience there is unique in its own right, just for how we do it. You know, we're not the dentist that's trailered his trike out there to, you know, have the best week of his life, which he is very welcome to, and I hope he's having the best time, and I hope we're making it more fun for him.
Same.
But it is unique, and so
It is.
how we go and do it, it is always different, and it is always changing, evolving, and as we grow, so does the event with us. And so it's been a lot of fun, and even, you know, in this latest iteration of how I'm operating with this show, you know, it's to now go on the road. I just I've done Moto America, a few rounds with them this year. I did X Games. I got invited out to X Games. That was pretty cool. And then I'll be going to AIM Expo and the
sweet.
One Moto show next week.
That's already next week.
That's next week. So I'll be there with, like, not to go shoot it, which traditionally, what I would have done for, you know, whoever. Whereas now it's to be as the personality and as the, you know, this thing that I'm creating, and then I'll be this guy, and then I'll.
Wait, that's in Portland next week?
No, so this is their first.
I'm going to sneeze.
God bless you.
Okay, I didn't yet.
It's their first, like, ancillary, you know, show that isn't in Portland. So it's in Vegas, and it'll be butted up right to the AIM Expo, and I think they're in partnership on it. Bless you.
Oh, okay, so they're dancing.
Yeah, you know,
Cool.
Their show's expanded, and now it's on the road. And so I imagine it's going to be great, but it's going to be fun because, like you say,
it's because Portland's so cold.
it is chilly.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
It's
solid
cold.
choice. So that's exciting.
It's only warmed up here like yesterday. It's been cold everywhere, and I'm over it. I don't know about Hawaii. I guess it's been nice there. Good for you.
It has been nice there. I asked ChatGPT a lot of life advice, and I was like, where is the warmest place in the world right now? And they were like, Hawaii. I'm like, of course it is. And then I heard in Florida it was snowing
Yeah.
recently, which is like, wow, mind-blowing.
I talked to my pops on Sanibel Island, beautiful Sanibel Island. And he's been sending me videos of him on his pool because, like, after the hurricanes and all the things, they're always having to fix shit. But they got the pool back, you know, right. So he's out there sending me videos. I'm like, oh, cool, man. And I'm out here just freezing my dick off. But
Yeah.
he's like, oh, it got in the 60s. And I was like, oh, it was so cold, man. Mm-hmm. But
so cold.
so cold.
Yeah, but I mean, that's awesome that you're going to be heading to those events. I feel like there's going to be so many cool events this year and up and coming. And
Well, and you're a great person to talk to about this because even as my show exists, it's based on the relationships I have, and that's what I do. I go find interesting people within my industries, and then equally I talk to my friends. And it's a lot of new people, but it's a lot of folks like you that I have, you know, deep history with. Some of them are from the motorcycle world, some of them are from the stunt world. A lot of you know, music, movie, you name it. But while AIM Expo and One Moto is very power sports, I'm excited to get into, like, you know, I feel like I could get into overland. I could get into
Absolutely.
the automotive, like an outdoor, you know, 4x4, like you name it. Could be hunting. Yeah, you see my bow up there?
I do. I did
see
see your
that.
bow, and I actually saw some of your taxidermy.
You see the AK-47?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Don't steal my shit.
I won't. No. I won't. You know I
We're
won't.
safe here.
Other people, yeah. But I feel like that's kind of the cool thing, right? I mean, it's like
Where's this going to go next?
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the fun thing about, I think, motorcycles, motorsports, power sports, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's anyone who's into that is usually palatable, right? Like they have other passions that they're into, right? Whether that's, if you like motorcycles, you probably like off-roading, right? Or you probably, That was magical.
Who didn't silence their cell phone?
Is that your phone?
Yeah.
That sounds like a magical Disney experience.
Back to the Future.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
It's going to make another noise, but I think it'll be done after that.
That's okay. I really enjoyed that. I want to actually put that on my phone.
Yeah.
I got that new phone. It's quite exciting.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The new iPhone 16 with AI.
Is it? Oh, shit.
Yeah. It was my birthday present to myself.
You're going to have to just show me later because I don't know even what it does.
I mean, hopefully it's got better cameras. Maybe
can
you
only
can tell me if it
imagine,
actually does.
No better than my Fuji film cameras that we're shooting the show on. Super stoked. Thanks, Fuji.
Yeah. Shout out to Fuji. Also, bring your Fuji, come to Hawaii. Bring Meg, come to Hawaii.
On the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would really love that. There's so many adventures we got to have there.
Well, and back to the adventures
Yeah.
in the mainland. What does your 2025 look like now that you're, diving back in? What's in store?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I'll definitely be at Sturgis this year. I'll be at the
Okay.
Sturgis Buffalo Chip for sure.
With Wide Wild or just?
I think I'm always kind of bringing Ride Wild with me, which we
Yeah.
should actually mention what Ride Wild is because we talk about
Sorry
it a
about
lot,
that.
but then there's probably a lot of people like, what the are you talking about, right? But yeah, I'll do Sturgis this year. And should I dive into Ride Wild real quick?
Well, and we've mentioned Wild Gypsy Tour into Ride Wild.
Yeah.
So I would start at the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. Starting at the beginning, many moons ago, 2017, or I guess it might have been 2016. So I was working as a stunt woman and in LA, and I was doing stunts / personal training. Kind of worked as a very complimentary mix back then, and I was into motorcycles, right? And I ended up getting some work doing motorcycles, and I was kind of like, well, this is a cool job. Can I work in it, especially as a woman? Seriously, it like brings so much joy to my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, Sam, what adventure is going to happen?
Yeah.
So anyway, got more into the motorcycle industry and met some girlfriends, and it was interesting because a group of us had gotten together, and we were approached about developing a female-driven concept at Sturgis. And so Woody from the Buffalo Chip, who started and founded the Buffalo Chip, and his family, they had approached us about, like, how do we get more women involved? Mm-hmm. And so we, as women motorcyclists, came up with this concept of Wild Gypsy Tour. It was really, like, conceived by the group of us at that time. And as we kind of got closer to date, the other girls just had other things going on. And, so they went their ways. But it felt like such a big concept that needed to be birthed into the world. Mm-hmm. And I had so much support from the Buffalo Chip. And so we launched in 2017 the first ever women's motorcycle festival at Sturgis. And it was super cool. I think we had like about 50 women show up from literally all over the nation. I had a girl from Iceland come, mm-hmm. a girl from Sweden come. And there were all these women who wanted to experience this iconic motorcycle music rally, but like never quite had the right invitation. And so it was this like exciting passion project of like, how do you breathe a fresh breath of air into Sturgis, right? Which has been around for, at that time, 70 something years, mm-hmm. right? Now it's like 85, I think. But especially at the Sturgis Buffalo Chip, right? Which is known as like the home to people during the rally. And it's in the most beautiful spot in South Dakota. Like, people shit on South Dakota, but the Black Hills of South Dakota, as you know.
Who's talking shit about South Dakota?
Honestly, go
Other than
South
the
Dakota.
winters.
We love it. Yeah,
Why are you
rough
there?
winters. But it's so beautiful. I mean, it's like such an outdoor mecca for so many things. And anyway, so Wild Gypsy Tour, we did that for 5 years at the Sturgis Buffalo Chip. And during, our last year there, it's sort of, I think for me, I was kind of, as you know, right, my spirit, I'm like, how do we grow this? I want to like move more. I want to expand more. And so we rebranded into Ride Wild, mm-hmm. which is essentially a power sports collective putting on events to encourage people to be in the outdoors. And so what was specifically motorcycling, which had branched out to various kinds of motorcycling over those 5 years, right, which started at Sturgis and expanded to different expos, mm-hmm. different, events and things like that. We got more into our other passions, which was off-roading and snowmobiling, and huge thanks to...
Well, and then was that, where in this timeline is Togati?
Togati, yeah, that was after Ride Wild. So once Ride Wild got once we rebranded into Ride Wild, that's where we got really into snowmobiling. We got into off-roading, and it's kind of like full circle because growing up from Minnesota, it's like Polaris was always in my backyard. And I had worked with Indians since I started getting into motorcycles. They've been like one of my biggest advocates for so many years, right? And it expanded from like, well, Indians owned by Polaris. So like, hey, Polaris, here's this concept I want to do. This is how I know we can get more women, but especially people, right, into power sports. And so we branched into off-roading events with Polaris Adventures, literally all over the nation. And we got into snowmobiling, which was where we went to Togety. Which, like, how cool is backcountry Wyoming?
Ryder went to Togety.
Yeah. Ryder. Where's Ryder?
Where's he at?
Our sweet boy. Yeah, he did go to Togety.
Yeah.
God, that was so fun.
I remember him because they had all those sled dogs.
Yeah, that's...
And
I forgot
hey, bless the
that.
folks over at that hotel. They were like, yeah, you can bring your dog over there. Just
Togety
don't
Mountain
let
Lodge.
him go.
Yeah.
But sure enough, I walked in through, and the dogs were like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, right.
And Ryder's like, yo, these aren't my people, dude.
I forgot about that. I
It's
love
like
that
17 degrees. All the dogs are just happy outside. And Ryder's like, ah.
I know. Those are, man, what incredible animals those are.
So
We've
cool.
had so many adventures, Sam. I forget. And then once we start talking, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
We've done so much together. Let's keep doing more things together.
I'm available.
For show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we should do some more of that this year. I know I definitely want to get off-roading again, and we're still in the snow season. So even though we're trying to stay away from
I'll
cold.
see you in the warm season.
Okay. We'll reconnect in the summer then.
Yeah, I'll see you at Sturgis.
Yeah, Sturgis. So, yeah, that's kind of Ride Wild in a nutshell. I mean, it's really been a platform to encourage people to get outdoors, and it's through the avenue of power sports, right? But they're not just power sport centric events, if you will, right? I mean, you've been to plenty of our events. We do a lot of wellness activities, athletic activities.
Yeah.
We do a lot of spiritual activities. My partner for many years, Antonia, who's now living in Costa Rica, she really brought this incredible experience to Ride Wild with Bonafide, which is her entity. And we were really able to like host these really cool retreats or festivals or whatnot, encouraging people to really live their best life and do it through the avenue of like being outside, being incorporated in nature. And I would actually really love to like continue doing power sports, which I love, but grow it into hunting, like teach people bow hunting, teach people more about, spearfishing, water sports, stuff like that. Because I mean, I never quite had the right invitation to it. And then once I did, it's become one of my biggest passions, if not obsessions, right? And I'm so fortunate because I have those things in Hawaii, but they're really all over the nation and all over the world. And like, how rad would it be if I were like, hey, Sam, you want to go ride motorcycles in New Zealand and maybe learn how to like bow hunt? You ever heard of a red stag? We should go. Maybe bow hunt a red stag.
Well, and that's the, obviously I've been participating over the years, but to credit you, you didn't reinvent the wheel at Sturgis. Like, it is what it is, and you just wanted to add a different element to it for the ladies that were coming through, and given that it was a ticketed event, like, you got to up the ante a little, and so you did that with Anto, in addition to all these other fine vendors that you were able to bring out. And so they could go and have the Sturgis experience, which, some is just to go to, Pappy Holes and have beers and just, watch the belly flop contest and then ride a few hills. But you guys really did elevate it and provided so many different, depending on what people, they didn't have to participate in everything, but what was there was unique in itself. And so that's always been fun and to see and experience. And wherever you take it, it seems to always have a different element. So that's pretty cool. But introducing the hunting aspects and all that, yeah, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, and that's the thing. I feel like I should have prefaced with this. It's like hunting isn't for everyone, right? Just like motorcycling isn't for everyone. Just like a lot of people don't like the outdoors. But if you're probably watching this podcast, right, and you're either following us or knowing us, it's like,
well, you just said the only person that listens to this is my mother. But now my brother has told me, he's like, hey, I listen to it. So
yeah.
well,
we fam.
Bam, that's it.
You gotta love
Maybe
fam.
your little brother watch it too, and I'm up to 3.
He will, yeah, I'm sure. If we talk about his shark attack, his near-death experience in Hawaii.
But yes, the general folks that my demographic is guys and gals like us that do enjoy a little bit of the rough side of things.
Yeah, exactly. Or we like to have fun. Let's put it that way. We like to have fun.
We do like nice things too, though.
Yeah, we do. And however, I think we're yes people, right?
Yeah,
we're kind of like, yeah, I'm down. Maybe I've never done that before, but sure, I'm down. Like, remember when we went to Bali, hopped on a boat, went to another island? You and I somehow found ourselves on a broken moped, cruising down that mountain.
That was a great time.
That was one of the best experiences of my
life. TikTok or something. It hit me with a reel of that beach that was at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Of that thing that was just a gob of people. That,
we didn't go.
Did not go. We made it there, and then as everybody kind of meandered about, we're like, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Because the scooter was adventure enough, but that was definitely a hoot.
You gotta link that video where the scooter's breaking.
That's how I'll open this.
Literally, you're going in the scooter, you're like, and I'm running, trying to jump on it, jump starting that bike.
We could only have you hop on at 5 miles an hour. Like, it was like no slower than that, it would just cut out.
Yeah.
We got in a lot of grief that day.
Yeah.
We got a lot of grief that day. Anto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an adventure, though, right? Looking back at it. But yeah, anyway, my point is like, I know a lot of these things that I talk about I'm passionate about, a lot of people aren't, and that's okay. I mean, to each your own. Mm-hmm. But I know for me, like diving into this year, and especially after the experiences I've had over the last few years, I know I'm even much more passionate about living my life with purpose and passion and wanting to spend time with the people I love and awesome, cool people and make great memories and adventure and, make a life out of doing that, which I think you and I have done and we're continuing to do, but I can definitely say that's kind of what the scope of my year looks like, I think.
And that'll be from Hawaii?
Yeah.
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 Well, and
I think you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You really don't.
Well, that's exciting, and I'm excited to see, just like the last, decade, let's say, how many more times that we zigzag past each other. But it'll be exciting all the same. I honestly have, I can project and prospect and cast a line into all these different things that I think I'm getting into and the directions I'm going. And every time I try to orientate myself in a direction where I'm like, all right, this is going well, I'm doing this is happening, then, if something presents, I feel like I have so many different things moving forward simultaneously at this point that I'm like, well, one of these freaking things just hit. Mm-hmm. So I can say that I can stand on a little
stability.
Yeah, it's I can appreciate that we're not in control of this wild ride, but we can certainly make adjustments that set us up for success along the way. But honestly, this last little while has been really kind of disconcerting. Like I see the sunny side in all things, but like there's been the stretch where I'm just like I don't know what the back of my version looks like. I'm just waiting for it to warm up, I guess. But
maybe that's what you need. Maybe it's just you're in a season of winter in your life, literally and metaphorically. Yeah. Right. I mean,
I'm doing the work.
You're doing the work. You've got all the things happening for you, and I feel like that's for me too. I mean, nowadays, you know what I listen to when I go to the gym? Stoic mindset philosophy stuff. I still got my playlist and stuff, man. But I'm telling you, you got to get into like stoicism. My buddy Brent Slaughter, you've met Brent. He's done. God, I love those guys. They are just incredible people. But anyway, Brent bought me this book last year, sent it to me, and it was basic. Now I'm blanking on what it's called. Hold on. It's because you and I read every day. We read a passage every day. And this book he gave me, which forgive me, I can't remember the title of right now. It's basically reading a Stoic passage every day. And I've noticed that like filling my mind, right, with some kind of knowledge, wisdom passage like that, especially with Stoicism, has really helped me shape my life. And even during this time where I'm like, I really don't know what the fuck's going to happen. I mean, I'm really in such a crazy time right now, but I know generally where I want to go. And I think you and I both
Well,
feel
and
that,
not to
right?
discredit myself, I mean, I do try not to be a victim of circumstance, but not arguing it at all. I've just navigated a wild, similar to yourself, just a lot of things that I'm like, all right, well, that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And so even though I'm just like, just waiting for the dust to settle overall, but that is not something I'm experiencing alone in my industry, coming off of strikes, coming off of relocating, broken knees.
Oh, so much.
And so all those things. But yeah, I think it's the Daily Stoic is, I believe, what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I got it upstairs.
Literally, I said it. Didn't I say that? And I was
It's
like, what is it called?
The Daily Stoic book.
The Daily Stoic, yeah. I think his name is Ryan Holiday. He co-authored it with someone. What an amazing book, truly.
Also did Ego is the Enemy. That's
a great one, too.
That kind of kicked off my one of my reading cycles after my divorce, was just like trying to deconstruct whatever I thought I understood about myself.
Yeah.
To be like, wait a minute, who am I?
Who am I? Soul searching, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm all about that. Anything self-improvement, anything like them. My friend was just telling me about that Mel Robbins book called Let Them or something like that.
I think Meg took that one down. She's a big Audible girl.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm listening to at the gym. YouTube videos,
Audible.
Stoicism, and Audible for sure. And when I go on my walks every day.
One that always makes it back into circulation, in part just because it's just such an easy little truncated read, is the Way of the Superior Man. That's one that I've read it like 6 times at this point, just because it just speaks. And it's not specific to men, it's not specific to women, but it is specific to relationship and how you can stand in your own way on a lot of things. But just another good read if you're out there looking for recommendations.
Honestly, we could do a whole podcast on like just books and the stuff we consume.
Yeah.
Seriously, I love it. I would eat it all up.
Yeah. Tune in next time.
I know, part 3. Should that be our next one?
We got to get Bad Beer Book Club.
I know. Oh, actually, that has a really great rhyme to it. You should do that.
Bad Beer Book Club.
Let's start it.
BBBCs.
Yeah. Or you could even evolve it into what Reese Witherspoon did. Did you hear about that?
Mm-mm.
So, and I'm pretty sure this is right, so don't quote me if it's wrong, but
too late, this is live.
So she did this really brilliant thing where, she's a big reader, right? And I read about this where she not only started her book club, right, which is very well known, I think similar to Oprah, right? But what she did with these people was she was going to use her platform to talk about these books, right? These books that she read and she was very into, and
so she would seek the book out and then bring it to
vice
her group?
versa. She just essentially she started a book club, but I think what she had negotiated with it was, if this ever is something to be turned into a movie, I get to produce it.
Oh, okay.
And it's something where if you've actually looked at her portfolio, if you will, she's got to be a part and help produce some incredible stories because she started a book club. So you never know.
The book club, did she start a publishing company or just the book club that was like, hey, I'll pump your shit here, but
yes.
if it's dope and it catches, I want to make a movie, I get the rights?
I think it's the latter, yeah. Okay. I think it's that.
Interesting.
And again, I might be wrong about what I'm saying there, but I think it's brilliant because it's brought more people reading and it's brought more people watching and more people inspired. Anyway, putting good into the world. Go Reese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Anyway, start Bad Birds Book Club.
Why not? I got to add another thing to my list of things to do that I'm just like,
I know. This is a problem with us because there's always, it's that palette thing where it's
well, all right, this is news to me recently as of 2 days ago. We talk about the work that we do, we're creators and everybody's creative, but specifically I get paid to create. And so I don't know along the way if when I got, a little older, a little more jaded, a little more fearful after just getting beat up too many times, that I stopped marketing. Somebody was like, hey, you're not good at marketing. And I just always in my head, I was like, what do you mean? I'm a marketer. I create, I'm creating content. He's like, yeah, you create, you're a producer. You make great things. You don't market it. You don't come up with a strategy. And then because there was a period where social media worked in an organic fashion for me that I was marketing myself endlessly. But over, the recent experience with how social media changes, algorithms shift, I'm no longer really marketing myself. And the work I do, I am constantly creating, but kind of just several different directions. And so he's like, I'm not saying, bad or good. It's just it was just interesting for me to hear that I was like, oh shit, I'm not. where to now make like peace with it or align with that thought that I can now like enlist a marketer. Like even like companies, like what I don't do currently is pitch companies. I've more often than not been approached about doing this thing or like, hey, I have this idea for this thing, and then I can put together a deck. I can put together, you know, what the root of it will be, what the you name it, the bones of it, and I can go do the thing. But I'm not. I don't know if I just feel like I'm just always operating from a corner lately that I can't proactively put together the pitch, and so that would be essentially the marketing is putting together what the, you know. Start, middle, and end of it, other than the creation of it. So that's something I've been just like kind of chewing on over the last couple of days. Like, oh shit, am I bad at marketing? So then, what does that mean I need to do?
Can I add my 2 cents?
Give me freaking 5 cents. Dude.
Okay, 2 cents. One, I don't think you're bad at it, and even if you were to consider yourself bad at that, it's something you can improve on. I think if anything, right? It's like if someone tells you that, I mean. I don't know, you kind of got to take it as a grain of sand, right? But I also think, like, there's always going to be room for improvement, right? I think that's one thing we know. You can always get better at something. And maybe it's not necessarily you're bad at marketing. Maybe it's one of those things where it's like you just need to fine-tune exactly what it is you're trying to do or what you're looking for, right? Because I feel like, and let me go back on that. One, I don't think you're bad at marketing. Two, figuring out exactly where your compass is calibrated, right? But before all that, I think it's important to note that we live in a social climate that's always changing. And this was one of the biggest lessons I've learned over the last few years is that social media in itself, and I've been a social media manager, organizer, strategist, I mean, you name it. I've done a lot in social media for various brands for various years. I've done it from health and wellness to motorcycles to music to this and that. And the one thing I've learned, the constant, is literally every week it is changing. Every week, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, you name it, like whatever platform it is, it's always changing and evolving. And so it's hard for people, especially as influencers or creators, right? And before it was even called that, right? It was brand ambassadors or just partnership or friends or whatnot. It's always changing and evolving. So beyond trying to have your hand on the heart, right? Keeping up with the pulse, right, of what's going on in social media. I think it's as important, if not more important, to like really be clear about what you're doing. Yeah. Because we spend so much time, like, I know I did this in so many different areas in my life and different jobs where like I put so much time and energy into things that weren't coming back to me. I was like giving ideas away, giving away all this stuff. And I had a lot of great experiences, but inevitably I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere or being as good as I could be. It was kind of like jack of all trades, master of none. But it was because I was putting so much out and not being really clear about what I'm putting out in order to get back what I need to be getting from it. Right. I don't know if this is too woo-woo or is this making sense?
No. I think it's fair and it's accurate, and I appreciate you saying I'm good at marketing, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but what I do think, and similar to your point, is what I'm putting a ton out, and the way that I see it is clear as day. It's not your fault that you don't understand how I understand it, and I'm just not making it clear. I'm not putting out the blueprint so you go, oh, I get what you're doing, you know. And so some people get it, and I work great with those people, and then that's when, you know, I come whatever I do. What I think I'm at is, while not denying, you know, whether I'm good at marketing or not, it's to say that, like, my taxes. It's like I'm not doing my taxes. Like, you know, my accountant's going to do my taxes. Eric, I love you. Tax season is upon us. Let's go.
You have a good tax guy?
I got the best tax. Eric Spires Associates.
Can you hook me up with your tax guy?
I mean, I got to imagine he's going to go, where's she live? Hawaii? Like, I don't know anything about Hawaii.
Kind of all over.
Open your business in Florida. He's got you.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Spires Associates. Actually, he just broke off into his own firm. Him and his, it's a family business he's been in. But he's grown, and I'm so proud of him and what he's doing. Anyway. That to say, I don't do my taxes because he's going to do them way better. He's going to make sure the government gets what they want. Yeah. And I don't get screwed.
But that's the brilliance. That's the brilliance of being. I don't know what.
Well, so what you said about, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. What's the full quote? Is like, you know, better be varied than master of or master of one. Whatever the full quote is, it's got more to it.
It does.
But in the sense that, like, I've now accepting with all things, like, all right, if somebody's better at marketing than me and like making sense of what it is, let me.
100%.
It's like being a musician. You know, you're not going to run the label. You're not going to be your manager. You're not going to be your talent booker. You let the label do what the label does. And in the perfect world, when the label isn't being shitty, is what I'm saying. But much the same for an actor. It's like then the agent is go handling deals, contracts, and whatever, and they can just focus on their art. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've evolved myself far enough in all the different ways that I do as the artist that I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm good at. And what I feel like maybe what this podcast does is put me in a platform and in a position to then share my ideas, share my art with my paint that I use and whatever the paintbrush I choose, that then I can align with those partners that are the marketers, the agents, the managers.
Absolutely.
I think that's where I'm at because I'm you know, as much as I'd like to read a book and get better at something, I'm not going to get good at trigonometry. Like, that's not, I've accepted that.
I love that you picked that.
Do you know how to do trigonometry?
I used to. Definitely not now.
There was no used to for me, but geometry, right? I could do that.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
true.
You get my point.
I totally do. But I think that's, I mean, again, with the hashtag life, right? Like things that we've been talking about, this reoccurring theme. I think one of the bigger lessons, right, that I'm sure you and I both learned, it's about who you surround yourself with. I mean, I remember hearing that when I was younger. I think I heard it in high school from a college counselor, and she was like, be very mindful of the people you spend the most time with or the things you spend the most time with, right? Because you will become them. And that philosophy really does, I mean, it's so applicable to life, every single person, right? And I think that's kind of what we're getting to is it's not just, you have to be so mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with, whether that's friends or family, what TV shows you're watching, but especially in the field of your career and your passions and your creations, right? It's not only surrounding yourself with the right people, putting yourself in the right environments, but also recognizing, right, if you are the creator of your life, you also have to be good about, you know, who you're surrounding yourself with, but who's around you, right? Who's building with you. And if you are trying to build a life of your dreams and your passions, right? Who's building that with you? Because there are always going to be people who are better than you at something. Just like you get your tax guy, right? You get your tax guy to do your taxes. Maybe you get a marketer, right, to do your marketing. Or you get a social media analyst or one of those groups, like digital marketing, to run those analytics, do those things. Because doing that frees up your time to do the things that you want to do.
That's one of the biggest things that I think I agree with and apply in my life is the very much like show me your friends, I'll show you your future, you know, what you just said. My dad said it when I was young and it still applies today.
Yeah.
And then
so
whatever, whatever Tony Robbins type dude says, take, the 5 people that you see most often, like whoever you talk to all day, whoever your world looks like, you're going to be a mixture of them financially,
it's
physically,
true.
and all things. And so I have been so mindful over the last few years, even as I navigate all these twists and turns, about surrounding myself with the best in so many different ways that my finances, my physicality, and all those things. And it's interesting because it happens quickly, it happens not so quickly, but it's just to be kind of aware as things evolve and change. But it is so true. And not to time travel too much, but there's been points in my life that some of the folks that I had surrounded myself with that I didn't necessarily see what was happening, but they're no longer in my life. And as happy or as sad as that is, I'm grateful.
Same.
Because I'm like, wow.
Same.
Dodged a bullet, dude.
Yeah.
And so those are the things that I'm very clear about.
I think you could say that, I can say that for sure about friendships, partnerships, relationships, working relationships. I mean, it's probably one of the greatest lessons that you can learn is know when to fold them, if you will.
Hey, Kenny Rogers, man.
I know.
Come on.
I was listening to that song last night. I was like, man, this song is so prophetic. It's like one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. And then Slightly Stupid's got a version of it. I mean, but what a great song.
I was like listening to Chris Cornell. And like a Stone or whatever, and it's just like deep shit, and you bring it up Kenny Rogers. I'm like, yeah, similar.
It is. It definitely is. But I think that's the point that we're going back to is like.
Which, by the way, Kenny Rogers, buried here in the Atlanta cemetery, the Oakland cemetery, he's got a big old mausoleum. Huh. Is that where you put people?
I think so. Yeah.
I hope I'm not being offensive.
Or a shrine.
Yeah, it's right over there. Like
how do you know that?
Because I was living in Reynoldstown. Oakland Cemetery is now on the list of National Registry, whatever. It's a beautiful cemetery. It's on this beautiful hill right in the middle of the heart of Atlanta. Historic cemetery. It's at one point the tallest place in Atlanta. The mayor had his house there. And so several battles ensue over years and all the things. But just to go in that cemetery, it is impressive.
Wow.
It is by far, oddly, I feel like I've been in a lot of cemeteries, but it's got to be up there near number one for being a great looking spot. And Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Gosh, who would have thought?
Yeah.
That is so wild. Man, we've really dove into a lot of life stuff.
Yeah, we'll do the next podcast, part 2, at Kenny Rogers' spot.
I thought we were going to do it in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That
Hawaii, mausoleum.
Okay, you're right.
On a beach in Hawaii sounds better.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, we've been talking for an hour and 22 minutes. I feel like we've covered lots of topics, a little bit of history, and some future speak. What?
Definitely.
What questions did you have? I feel like even at the beginning and we'll obviously keep talking after this, but I feel like there's still so much to update each other on. Like we've been living life kind of, parallel.
I know.
Even here in town, but so much has happened. You know, Meg is in Chattanooga today. Ryder's 9. Moose
is 10.
My beard's back.
Yeah.
Comes and goes.
Bad beard is back. It's like when I originally met you, yeah.
Well, and my hair is about 22 inches shorter. So
it's true. Yeah, you used to have that long hair. I think it was almost as long as mine at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Dude, miss it every day. What happened?
Look at you go. That's such a do. Man, it looks great, though.
Well, maybe I told you, but like moving to Atlanta and getting to the business that I'm in, which is stunt work here in Atlanta, there came a time where people were like, yeah, dude, if you cut your hair, you're going to work more. There's more availability.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
And so it was on Megalopolis, this little director, Francis Ford Coppola. I think he had like a fever dream and wrote this thing over like 40 years. Either way, I was in it. And the coordinator, Buddy Joe Hooker, this like historic dude, an icon in the industry, was the coordinator. And my buddy Jason Gupton, who's also been on the show, was like, yeah, dude, if you cut your hair, like Buddy will put you in. And I was like, bonk. I
remember that.
That was great.
Yeah. And it happened.
Yeah. I got in there. I actually got a line.
Yeah.
It got cut, but it was profound. I don't know how it ended up on the floor, but it was a hoot, and I was super grateful. And
things happen.
I hope at some point my hair will grow back. One thing I didn't realize,
of course, it's going to grow back.
With long hair, all the grays that were in it were kind of mixed in with all the other hair that had been there forever. When I cut my hair, I was like, oh shit, I'm like so gray, like a lot.
Silver, I like to call it.
Silver fox. But it was something like usually you kind of grow into it and there's like you're aware of it and the transition happens. But when I went from long hair to short hair, I was like, oh man, that was too quick.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it happens fast. I actually, this last year, believe it or not, I mean, you've kind of known me. I've always had long hair, but I actually cut 7 inches. Can you believe that?
Whoa.
Yeah, my hair was all the way down here, but I cut 7 inches. I lost so much hair last year because of all the stress and everything I was going
just like
through.
falling out.
Yeah, it was so sad. It was so scary. I really feel for anyone who's like lost their hair because it's such a hard thing to go through. But yeah, anyway, I lost a bunch of hair. So I was cutting my hair. I just started cutting my hair by myself. That's what I do now.
Yeah, Meg cuts mine.
Yeah.
She's good.
Does she want to cut mine? I definitely don't do it evenly.
She uses my meat shears. Like, I should really get her some better scissors. Yeah, but she's actually really good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I straight up my hair's usually curly, so it's like you can't quite really tell. But I was doing this thing where like I was cutting my bangs, and then I was cutting it shorter, but now I'm trying to grow it out a little bit more. Get my long hair back.
Feel ya.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that I'll let it grow as long until someone says, hey, I got you a job, cut your hair. I was like, go let's go. Yeah.
So here's my question for you. Are you going to be staying in Atlanta, or you kind of see yourself going back to Tennessee?
Well, as it's happened, coming from a wedding in Nashville, passed through Chattanooga, stopped for a Zoom call.
That wasn't our wedding party, right? That was separate wedding. Okay.
And then I did my Zoom call, and it was totally unintentional to stop in Chattanooga. That's where we stopped. Meg picked it out. Where we were hanging out, super cute. And I was like, this place is so cute. And then went to another spot, so cute. And then there was a big fire here, chemical fire. And I was like, I don't think we need to rush back into that. And so we ended up staying for 2 days. Had a great time. Thought Chattanooga was so cute. And she made the joke like, you should commute. And up until that point, I had never really considered commuting an option. Like I thought, I got to be here to work in the business. You got to commit. Like I had to be local. I left a lot of bad beard on the back burner because I had to have my focus here. I had to be available, and then you just put time in, attention in, intention in. You got to commit. But then being on Peacemaker, this HBO show, or I don't know, John Cena.
Yeah.
I was on that for a while, and one of our guys, Paul O'Connor, great dude, was commuting from Orlando.
Oh.
He would drive. He has a place up here, but he would every Friday drive home, every Sunday drive back because he's got a beautiful family he loves in Florida. Never complains about anything, regardless. But to see him do that, when she made the joke, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute," because the reality of in Atlanta right now, for me, and this is no offense to anyone here from here, whatever. My dollar is not going to match what I'm going to get where I want, and then equally, there's just a weird. True. There's just a weird vibe. Inside Atlanta, it is what it is. Outside Atlanta, it is what it is. But there's just like a level of just like what's Southern hospitality or whatever. I don't know if people forgot about it, but like I go to buy a beer or something like that, I'm gonna spend $4 more than I want to for a beer that doesn't cost that much, but that's just how it is here in Atlanta. And then they're gonna be kind of rude about it. And then I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm paying for this beer that should I go?
Yeah.
And too often not, and that's the experience I have. And so when that's been the case, to think that I'd have to buy somewhere that I don't want to be, that I don't see what the future looks like, Chattanooga just seems like the tits right now. I'm like, everybody's nice.
I feel you.
Everything's cheap, and it's just a walkable town. And then
aren't those the best?
Yeah, door to door, it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Even with traffic, you hop on 285 and then you're out on the expressway. 2 hours? Are you kidding me? You could be in 2 hours of Atlanta traffic, except over there I can afford it and people are nice. And
I totally get it. I mean, you're talking
so
to
how
a girl
long am I
in
going to
Hawaii.
be here? I mean, I'm here and I'll be here as long as I need to be here.
Yeah.
But that's anywhere, I guess.
Wherever the wind takes you.
Wherever the wind takes me, yeah.
Yes. It's true. And I think that's a good way to be. I actually recently had visited Greenville, South Carolina. You ever been there?
I do. Yeah, I've been there. I got a lot of
what a
friends there.
cool city. And then all of a sudden I saw it pop up on my Apple News. It's like one of the best upcoming towns. And I was like, it definitely is. It was like one of the coolest cities I'd been to, and like, who would have known? Right? But yeah, anyway, I'm glad to hear that you guys are kind of like figuring out what works best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open to all things, but just taking the opportunity as it comes and just trying to capitalize. I have business here in Atlanta. Meg did not, and so it didn't seem fair that it's not like she was going to hang out in my basement all day.
Yeah. This is probably
much as I tried. Like,
keep her close. Well, I mean, that's kind of like me with Hawaii. I mean, I've been in Hawaii for about 10 years now and visiting since I was a little kid. But I mean, I pretty much live on planes, which is not very glamorous, but I'm super productive on planes, but I don't mind. I mean, I'm living in the place I always dreamed of living. I'm so grateful for my life, and it's just Moose and I, so it's a chill life. But I'm always on planes flying over to the mainland because most of the jobs that I do are out here, right? Unless I'm able to work remotely. So I think you just got to find what works for you.
We're just warming up.
We are just warming up. And the climate, I mean, everything is just changing, you know what I mean, ever since COVID, that one thing that happened.
I think I'm grateful for everything that's happened thus far. I'm going to be more grateful when I can look back and laugh. Right now, I'm just going to snicker. but I'm optimistic for our 2025. I think we're just scratching the surface, and then I look forward to our part 2.
I know there's actually so much more to talk about, but we'll wait to dive into that.
Well, this is the time of the show where I hand the mic over to you that you already possess, where you can look into your camera, which is this one right here, or the wide, your choice.
Oh, yeah, that's a good choice.
And deliver, whatever you're excited about directly coming up, something you want to bring attention to, whatever. It is your time to shine.
So many things. Well, let's start with gratitude. Sam, thank you for having me on your podcast. Bad Beard Book Club.
Yeah.
We'll add it to the list of other projects we wanted to. Who do I want to give a shout out to? Definitely want to give a shout out to Sturgis Buffalo Chip, my family at the Chip. They've just always really been there for me. So if you guys are looking for something fun to do this summer, come join me at the Sturgis Buffalo Chip. It is the best time. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
So many memories there, and I'm excited for that family reunion and just some epic adventures in the Black Hills. And of course, big thank you to Polaris and Indian Motorcycle for always having me, and a big shout out to Carhartt. I've been working with Carhartt for many years now, and I'm so grateful to be a part of their Friends of Carhartt, and all of you guys for watching. And and Protect, I forgot to mention that. Protect, my favorite energy supplement that I'm obsessed with.
How's that spelled, Protect? I see it spelled differently.
Protect. Is it going to look right in the camera?
I'll do it later in post. Protekt.
Yeah. Protect. For keeping me hydrated and rested and energized. They've got all 3 of those supplements. I'm going to send you a box of each. You're going to love them. I think that's all I can think about. And actually, I should say shout out to everyone in the motorcycle industry. All my friends, all my people, all my colleagues, because you guys have been absolute family to me. And I'm just so grateful for all the really awesome people in my life and all the cool adventures and memories. Let's do more of those.
Hey, man, keep the rubber side down. That's what they say.
Yeah, keep the rubber side down. Wear your helmet. Wear a real helmet, not a brain bucket. You and I have both crashed enough.
Yeah.
We don't need any more crashes. Yeah.
Well, with that, thank you for watching. Kelly Yazdi, folks. Tune in for when this comes out at whatever point. I'm gearing up to go on the road, and I'm excited for wherever it takes me next. Tell your friends, like and subscribe, and then send me some guests. Who do you want me to go talk to? Let's go have some conversations. I've been excited for the journey thus far. I'm excited to see where it goes. And we're aligning with sponsors every day. So if you would like to underwrite the show and or just send me fat cash, I'm available. Yeah, exactly. I got a lot of ideas for you. I got a few people I think you should definitely interview, and some ideas for let's collaborate on some of these things. We'll figure it out. Well, until next time, yeah. We'll be in Hawaii. Love you. Aloha. Yeah, aloha. See you there. See ya.